Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah! Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media, in case you didn't know.
Okay, party people and
It's time to get busy. Yes, you know what it is. We got that boom bap, all that right here. We got a show for you. But yo, I can't do this by myself, so let me introduce you to the crew. You know how we do. My brethren coming through. His name is Evan. And coming through Stompton, representing all the way from Jersey to Compton, Renee Johnston. It's the show.
I'm still trying to figure out how I keep getting linked with Compton.
Hey, your name
Is it the name? It's just because it rhymes.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. As long as there's like a reason.
And for all my bloods out there, Bompton. My bad. All right.
Oh. Good.
You gotta know how to switch the lingo up when you're dealing with certain people. You know. Big up, y'all. What's good?
What's up? What's up, your doctor? How you feeling?
Man, I feel great. Got me some good rest. Got me some good work this weekend. It was a treat. How y'all doing? How you doing, Evan? You look smiling and everything.
I'm dope, man. I'm dope. I'm feeling good. I had a good weekend. Got to see Renee.
Yeah. Let's give it up, everybody, for Renee Johnston. Happy born day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciated Evan coming through. I also appreciated it when we were having tech difficulties. Evan went straight into remix mode and just took over and was like, da da da. And he covered it while we got it straightened out.
You made me proud, Evan. You made me proud that you did not leave air and you talked. I was like, okay.
I'm glad because that is absolutely on like top 10 of worst nightmare type things. I myself online running live. I was just
it was you did good. You did good. Thank you, Monty. And we got to talk now that you're back. I want the updates and all the info.
Oh yeah, we gotta get that story.
Info.
So yeah, it was good. Yeah, I'm sure you had a good weekend, Evan. So back to you, Renee. Now this birthday. What happened? What did you do? 150 episode.
150th episode, which was crazy.
Without any breaks, nonstop.
Yeah, that was crazy. But it was cool. We went back to Newark. CMC was of great help. We were in Newark Express Newark. They had us set up in like a space that I didn't even know existed. But the tech folks are dope. Shout out to them. And so we did the show. Show went well. Even Jay from Millennials was in the house live, which was crazy. He brought his family. And then we all rushed out, and I like raced Jared to the train station because he had to catch his train. He was supposed to be catching a train at 2:30. And then my husband was taking me to dinner. He said there was, we were going to do like a big family dinner thing. Mm-hmm. And we were supposedly going to a spot with the best sangria in Union County. Now, my husband knows me, so the best sangria is going to get me anywhere. Mm-hmm. And we rolled in, and there was like 70 people in the room. Shocked. It was a total surprise.
Got her.
He really did. He got me. And it was a cross section of my whole life, like from my oldest friend to my most recently made friend that I hang out with all the time.
So
And then I look up and Jared was in the room. And I was
look
like,
at that.
did I take your ass to the train station?
He had to hurry up and get there before you. Did you walk in with this expression, or was it more like this expression? Which one was it?
It was in between. It was in between.
Nice.
But it was cool. It was a fun night. Entume came, Zen was there. I mean, to look around a room and see people that I've known since I was 10, people I went to high school with, people I went to college with, people I worked with, people that I used to help with their coaching program. Like it was wild. It was beautiful though. It was beautiful. And I appreciate everybody. I got so much like love from all angles. Folks were, just shouting out and
I see Big Dollar. Dr. Brown came and blessed you with some loot. I was
she
like,
sure
look at that.
did. She sure did. Listen, look, and I'll still take it, y'all. The bills are still coming in for stuff, so feel free.
Renee is now an elder, Evan. Ain't that something?
I know it's official. I hit the 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
A half century is wild though when you think of it that way. Like
yo,
half century.
Exactly. I'll be 51 this year. This shit is crazy.
It's crazy.
Oh my golly. I need
I was gonna say, Renee, do you have any like wisdom for us? Do you feel different? Do you any 50-year-old wisdom that you'd like to share with us? Even though you don't look it, which everyone said, and I'm glad people, you know what I'm saying? Like
we can't tell on this show, but continue.
Right.
I've multiple times people were like, the only reason you're not mad that you're 50 is because you don't look anywhere close to 50. So I will take that compliment. You know what? The best advice that I can give people is the same advice that I always give people: do more than you did yesterday.
There it is. There it is. Top dollar bill advice right there from Renee Johnston.
That's awesome.
Oh man, yo, let me tell you, since you about to ask, my weekend was great. Oh my goodness, it was good. I DJ'd for 11 hours Saturday. So
11 hours straight.
11 hours, buddy. I had a 1 hour break to drive from one event to the other event, and it looked a little something like this. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. You had a carnival? You were at a carnival there?
Right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey. So that was me sweating in 103 degrees.
Oh.
And then I had to go DJ this party. Hey. It was Turn Up Central. Hey. So yeah. It was good. Had a great time.
That's pretty dope.
Oh my goodness. You talking
What about you, Evan?
Thank you, Renee.
What you do?
Well, obviously, seeing Renee on her birthday was a highlight. Being able to drop in for the Saturdays with Renee show, awesome. I was able to kind of convey my appreciation. I'll do it again here, but Saturdays with Renee is an awesome, amazing show. It's contributed a bunch to my own political development, so very much appreciate Renee and the work that Renee and Jared do. So it was dope to not only be there, but be able to be the test, like the test for all the tech issues. So all the other people that came were able to have a smoother transition. So happy to perform that role. We also last week continued our Black August series. So last week the topic was the revolutionary potential of Black youth, taken to the streets, the long tradition of revolutionary youth resistance. Which was really, really dope. We went over, the history of Black August, reminded people of the history of Black August, reminded people why we're focusing on youth for Black August. Because when we think about so many of the revolutionaries that we look up to, many of them were either teenagers or very, very young people. And that was really amazing to highlight. And then for me, the highlight was that Jalil Muttaqin was actually in the building. He came through. And not only was he in attendance, but he also offered some primary source, like first person account and additions of, you know, his experience of Black August and like the creation of it, reminded us about the Black Guerrilla family and their importance to it. So it was just really dope to do it, and really a real honor to be able to have somebody like Jalil Muntaqim, former Black Panther, Black Liberation Army member, political prisoner, right? For him to find it important enough to be there and to share, like, that was really meaningful. So, yeah, I mean, that was really awesome. Got some family time, spent some time with the nephew. Went to go see Spider-Man, which shout out to Jared, I also liked, even though I saw the propaganda from like Jump, but I still enjoyed the movie. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was fascinating actually. I think my biggest movie was
The
great.
best part was when he did the web thing like this, and he came down and it went in a that shit was so hard. I was like, that's dope.
It was a well done movie. I think my favorite of that part, those Spider-Man series, even though I came up on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But the thing that I thought was propaganda throughout, so we all know what to expect from a Marvel film. The thing that I was most struck by, and the thing that felt the most relevant, was the way in which they juxtapose the NYPD and Department of Damage Control in the movie. Because for me, that's the exact same way that they juxtapose police and ICE right now. That is to say, we have this rogue government agency that's doing, you know, all types of messed up stuff, and then the cops are going to come save us. And I just, you know, that to me, I couldn't like stop seeing, or it just kept popping in my head. So I feel like that was like, for me, that was the most insidious part of the movie in terms of its propaganda. But, you know, Vernon philosophy was in full effect. You know what I mean? It just, you know, that's what occurred to me.
Speaking of propaganda, I did get to watch some more propaganda this Sunday. They just came out with, as you'll see on Thursday, I'll get a little bit more in depth on it. I call him the Space Cowboy, which is another cop type person. But yeah, the Green Lanterns are the cops of the universe. That's exactly what the Green Lanterns are. They're the cops of the universe, the galaxies. They go around and patrol. Yeah, so I get it. It's in all the movies. It's in every movie. You're either rooting for a cop or a robber.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's either you're letting Indiana Jones get some jewelry that he stole from some tribe and be like, go, don't get hit by the boulder, Indiana, please go steal the jewels. That's what
there's so much. Also, slightly unrelated.
Yeah.
Shout out to Millennials for Killing Capitalism in that Imperial 80s series. Shout out to Renee, because Renee has also been on that show as well. But I really appreciate the work they're doing, because I grew up watching, and still watch probably way too many movies. All of these movies I've seen, and I did not. One of them, the one they did recently, or one I watched recently, when they did Big, not the kind of movie that you would think is like an Imperial 80s movie, but then to hear them go through it, I'm like, that's what that was, you know, like remembering what the movie was. It's just nuts. So I don't know. It's dope to see. It's dope to have that show to kind of like go back and deep dive in those movies and kind of revisit the things that at least I grew up on, that were so incredibly problematic. But yeah, man, it continues, right? Marvel is diffuse with it, obviously, but yeah, man, I don't you know, it's pretty.
Latif is right. Thundercats was colonizers. It's been planet to planet colonizers.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and we love this shit. I mean, oh my goodness, it's crazy. But I did get I started a class yesterday. That was yesterday, right? Monday. I got my a student. I'm teaching how to DJ, little Malachi. So I'm excited about that. I'm about to welcome some more students. Brought them right here to the crib. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got my studio no more, so brought them right here to the crib. I might work out so I can do some online teaching too. So yes, good weekend, great weekend. I'm ready for this one too.
Oh, sorry. Last thing.
Please continue.
Last thing I really want to shout out was I was able to do some outreach with PACA. We were really focused on publicizing our People's Pan-African Wellness Front and our upcoming health walk, and we did the outreach in the community, right? Like really, really nearby where we actually do our health program.
Mm.
I just want to say that was incredibly dope. You know what I'm saying? It was hot. Mosquitoes tore me up, but I was able to go out and talk to community members, and you know what I'm saying? That's always a positive in hearing what people are experiencing and how they're interpreting it. But it was a real plus to hear that like people in the community, right, like understand their conditions, and many times their analysis linked up with ours, right? Like they were, you know, kind of in step with ours, and we're really interested in coming through and participating. People invited us to their churches to come speak, so it was really, really a great experience, and I think we'll be able to kind of build off of that. But yeah, it was really good to be out in the community, talk to people as well. So that was my last update from the weekend.
Nice. So how's it in the church? Did you work on your and I said, did you your cadence?
So I didn't.
No.
I didn't, because we didn't go. We'll go in the future to those churches. It's just I'm laughing because
somebody had a cadence that it was
no. So first off, I blame deculturation. I blame Carlos. This is his fault. But now I have.
I can't wait to text and tell him that.
Now I'm going in the house, annoying the hell out of my partner, talking about ain't nothing wrong with like channeling AOC, because she does this weird preacher cadence. You know what I'm saying? When she's talking to Black people, and there's this clip that he always plays where she's like, ain't nothing wrong. And she like goes over all these different working class jobs. It is very cringe, but now it's in my head. And Ear Doctor, what I would like from you is for you to take that clip, and you know, like the organ thing at church that they do, like no, like okay, like when the preacher says something and like you know that. I want you to splice that together with her saying that. That would be hilarious if you could just.
I'll send you my invoice. I'll make it happen.
For the people. It's for the people. It's not just for
me. I gotta say, this is one of those moments where I have. So, you know, Carlos be going a real long time, so I watch him in bits and pieces.
He does.
I've never heard him do that though, and I've also never heard her do that. And hearing you mock it, I'm really glad. So I'm going to try my best to avoid it moving forward. But
it's
ridiculous. It's awful. But everything about AOC is like, I don't think people understand how curated she is, and how her whole, like everything about her is a curation, like the whole thing. And I noticed this morning my girl Zaina Day, who she used to work with Brand New Congress when they first. I don't know if y'all remember that movie. What was the documentary? It was AOC, Cori Bush, what's her name that ran in West Virginia. There was a crew of women who were running for Congress. I think this was 2016, maybe.
It sounds familiar what you're saying.
Hold on, because this is going to drive me nuts now that I'm like talking about it, because I didn't actually mean to go down this path, but since you started talking about that thing, I think it's important that we understand how curated this whole process is. And so they did a documentary, and AOC was the only one. Knocked Down the House. That's the name of the documentary, and it was actually 2019. And it followed the campaigns for Swearingen, AOC, Cori Bush, and who was the last one? Amy Vilela, who was running in Nevada. And I remember watching that documentary and falling for all of the documentary traps that you fall for when you watch these things. And then as stuff started moving, as AOC went from being the quote unquote person who was only going to, she was only going to do one, that was it. I'm only going to do one term if I can't do the things that I need to do, and blah, 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 blah. And And so now, like all her stuff is, people are starting to finally understand that she's fully curated, that all her photos are like posed and predictable, that all of her, like everything about her is fully curated. But Zaina this morning, she completely laid AOC out on Twitter because she was like, I used to work for her. That picture's fake. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh.
Yes. This is what we need. We need to like work and then come back. That's what we need.
Say it. But I'm sick of all these people. But as y'all know I'm sick of all these people. All this political bullshit and their nonsense. I'm sick of all of them.
Well, guess what, y'all? We got a great show today. We got a guest host coming on today. He goes by the name of, what's his name? Chuck
Modiano.
Chuck Modiano. And we also have a live interview with Shantae Moore, Queen Sheba, and Lil Ronnie Jackson at 9. So we got a dope show today, y'all. I'm excited. So let's go ahead and take our first break, and then we're going to come back. We got our guest host coming through. We got some more news. We got all that right here. And no other than, you guessed it, the Remix Morning Show, y'all. So let's get into it. All right, let's do this. All right. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank you all for hitting that like button, subscribing if you're new to the channel. Go into Patreon.com and becoming a member over there, getting footage that's rare, and donating. Where? At blkliberationmedia.org, as you have seen at the bottom of the screen. Let's get right to the weather, y'all. It's gonna be it's been hot as hell. I ain't even gonna hold you. It's a rain here and there, but Atlanta, we got a high today again in the 90s. We at 91 today. DC, 87 degrees. It's sweltering out there too. Chicago, 80 degrees. Got a little bit of clouds. You talking about hot? Go to Houston. Houston got a high of 96 degrees. Next, let's take it to Lima, Peru. They have a high of 71 degrees. And last but not least, Bamako, Mali. They have a high of 89 degrees. Now, that's hot. I'll tell you what else is hot. What was done for us by this man right here as we just celebrated his birthday. That's right. We're talking about Marcus Garvey, y'all. Marcus Messiah Garvey, born August 17th, 1887, made his transition June 1940. He was an activist, founder of the UNIA, the Universal Negro Improvement Association. And he was known as bringing the ideology of black nationalists, Pan-Africanists. And he is known for bringing through Garveyism. That's the whole idea of it all. I mean, the brother put it together where he was like, listen, I'm not like W.B. Du Bois. I want to be separated from them. Let's go back to Africa. Let's go ahead and get a boat. Tried to do all that. Didn't have the right staff and stuff together to put the boat and get everybody back. We get it. But he had a lot of people he influenced. We're talking about, he influenced so many people. We're talking about Martin Luther King. We're talking about, I was just reading last night for Black August, for my Malcolm X book, learning how Malcolm X's father was such a Garveyite and how that led Malcolm to being where he is. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah, so many different people. He was known as one of the first black men to start a mass movement in America. So giving our shots out, our big ups to no other than Marcus Garvey, his influence on Rastafarianism. Oh, just understand the Moorish Science Temple, Islam. He had a big influence on them all. So big up to Marcus Messiah Garvey. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah. Coming up is a Jamaican there, Renee. What was the talk about Marcus Garvey in your house?
So there's a lot there, right? Like wow. Marcus Garvey for as much as he did a lot of things. There's some hidden stories about Marcus Garvey that, I think make a lot of stuff a little bit questionable. there is also his fascination with the Western world and his belief that like that should be what we should be. Like, yes, let's go back to Africa, but let's behave like the Western world. So it's a little tricky. I'll be honest, the get up with the hat and like that whole thing, like we were not a family that had a picture of Marcus Garvey up on the wall.
Okay.
Was not like that was not in my house. So I have a lot of respect for what he was attempting to do, but I have to say, learning about Hubert really really gave me some additional information that that I think is worth really looking into. So I do think that he will end up being part of this, this series that I'm plotting and planning about Jamaica, because I don't think you can do a history of Jamaica and not talk about Marcus
Oh,
Garvey.
you got
So,
to. And back
yeah.
to lifting this king up, who, as we know, is one of the first persons to start a mass movement in America, and be like, yo, let's separate. Let's W. Du Bois. I see you trying to get down with him, but we want to do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get up out of here. So, what about you, Evan? Any knowledge of Marcus Garvey?
I mean, no, I think I confer with Renee. Like, I very much appreciate the work that he did, but it's complicated history. I think it's been interesting for me, again, thinking about all the things I benefit from in terms of the programming on this channel. Have very much appreciated the conversations around Marcus Garvey and his relationship with W.B. Du Bois and that conflict, and have appreciated what Dr. CBS has said around her work around the Black Scare, Red Scare, and just this idea that like being an anti-communist didn't save him, which I think is an important lesson for all of us. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that we can take from his work and his legacy of good things he did and mistakes or problematic things that he did, both. And agree we shouldn't we should appreciate these people as human beings, right? As flawed human beings, right? That have their contradictions, right? And we need to be able to engage with those. I think it's really important to not lionize people and really engage with their contradictions. So there's a lot to learn from him. I think personally for me, it was interesting to find out that on my mom's side, my great grandparents were Garveyites, which I didn't know. My mom told me that like a couple years ago, and I was kind of surprised by that. Which knowing my mom makes more sense now, kind of just thinking about how her own politics developed. But yeah, man, it's very much.
When you think about the whole movement, it gave Black people a lot of pride. A lot of people went that way when it comes to the Black Panthers, when it comes to Islam, Nation of Islam. When it comes to a lot of different groups, they was like, he was one of the first to really stand up and be like, fuck this bullshit. They don't like us. Let's get the fuck out of here. And this system's fucked up. So I definitely give him his props. Yeah, I think everybody trying to figure out their way and trying to do certain. I mean, we can always look at Malcolm X. We could look at Martin Luther King. Yeah, they had their flaws, but they were one of the first to stand up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna put my life on the line for my people. So I gotta respect them. All right, where we at now? We got Osei. I said we do have some guests coming up, and make sure y'all tune in this Thursday. I have another thing I'm doing, Classical Breakdown, where I have DJ Rosorius, a good friend of mine. She'll be coming through, and we'll be doing Anderson .Paak versus Bilal. First debut albums going against each other, see which one is the best. And both are classic albums, so it should be a good time. So come on through for that.
That's interesting.
All right. Interesting, right?
Evan, is there a story? I guess let's just get to the stories. I'm sure Chuck will get here when he was.
Let's go ahead and get to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah, so we can go down the list. I'll let y'all know. At least for myself, it's some of the stories are pretty rough. So, but we can just start with this first one. from North Carolina. This family.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second.
You want to prime folks for what you're pulling up?
Yeah, I mean, this is more of this capitalist hellscape that we exist in, right? And I think we know on this channel, right? We understand how BS the story of like America is, right, and the propaganda of America. But what this made me think of, right, is how people always talk about how people are free here to chase their dreams and to live their capitalist fantasies, right? But we know that is just freedom to starve, right? To be houseless, right? You're free to fall through the cracks, right, of society. And I think this is unfortunately another example of that, which is pretty devastating, honestly. So here in North Carolina, lawmakers seek answers after family of 3 found dead following power cut from unpaid bill, which is just an awful headline. But let me get into this. So a family of 3 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina was found dead after the city disconnected their electricity over an unpaid bill, prompting renewed concern about how utility shutoffs can put financially strained families in serious danger. Now state lawmakers are questioning city policies and their impact on individuals struggling to make utility payments. According to NC Newsline, authorities have not yet announced an official cause of death in the August 3rd deaths of Kinney, Tracy, and Mahala Swan, rest in power, who were found in their mobile home. Rocky Mount Assistant City Manager CJ Jordan said the investigation is still ongoing. The outlet noted that the family was reportedly using a generator in the home after their electricity was cut off due to an unpaid bill. NC Newsline noted that family members claim the Swans tried to prevent the electricity shutoff with a partial payment, but the city utility denied the request, citing a requirement of either full past due amount or a 3-month plan to pay off the entire balance. The outlet reported that Senator Natalie Murdock said hearing of the family's passing gave her chills. Quote, "I would hope that we would dream of a world where no one dies simply because they're behind on their energy bill," Murdock said. "That's just not acceptable." And actually, I'm just going to stop there because that quote pissed me off, honestly.
And I just real quick, so A-Rob dropped this in the chat, and this is the stuff that drives me nuts. The kicker with this story is that 2 Rocky Mountain City Council members have outstanding electric bills totaling $30,000.
Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not.
$30,000. And their electricity isn't getting cut off.
Of course it's not. Of course not. Of course not.
Right? But this is what we talk about all the time with why capitalism is a problem. Right?
Yeah.
So you have, first of all, if they're living in a trailer, we already know that they're already struggling, right? And this is not a shot at living in trailers. Like, I'm just saying that a trailer is the in-between path, right? Like, we get a trailer, we have a room, we have we have a roof, we have rooms, we have space, but it's still a trailer, right?
Yeah.
So you're already in a space where you're just trying to make it by. I don't know if they're living in a trailer park or if they have land, and the best, because sometimes that's the best plan. If you can come up with land, they get a trailer because the trailer is easier to drop on land and live on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're already trying to just get by, right?
Yeah.
So they're not announcing the cause of death. Is that because something happened? Like, did the family do something because one of the parents were like, we can't live like this? Was it heat stroke? If they're living on a generator, did something happen with the generator? Was there a gas leak? Like, this is the fact that there's no information.
Yeah.
Is like, this is wildly irresponsible reporting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also capitalism, yo. Like, why do we live in a place where it is so easy to deny people the very simple things that are required? Like, there's no need to turn off someone's electricity. You're running a power grid.
Truly. Yeah.
You don't need, like, there's no need to turn off somebody's electricity.
And you clearly don't need that money, right, from that family if you got people who owe $30,000.
And they're good. Thanks,
Sorry.
A-Rob, for the $9.99. Floyd McKissick Jr., son of the man who incorporated Soul City, is on the Utility Commission board and doesn't help his constituents with info advocacy at all. Data centers, of course he is.
Oh my God, yeah. The other thing I wanted to note with this piece, the case has also drawn renewed attention to Rocky Mount, city-owned utility, which provides electricity, water, gas, and trash service. So I'm not clear. I mean, I'm assuming it was electricity, but these things are connected, so I don't know how much got turned off. The utility has reportedly charged higher prices than other providers and has faced billing errors and delays that left some customers owing thousands of dollars while they struggled to reach anyone by phone for help, the outlet reported. So this is so infuriating. Not only, right, is there this discrepancy in like whose power gets cut off and whose doesn't, right? But this company clearly, right, it's city owned also. So this is not even privately owned. And then
well, you don't know that. So
right.
So city owned doesn't mean that there isn't a private company behind what's happening. And this is the other thing that this reporting is like this is infuriating. Yeah. Because there's definitely like saying city owned is literally pushing this idea that you can't have like these towns city owned because look at what happens. But there is something else happening behind that situation. Because if it's truly city owned, then all of your stuff should be paid by your taxes. Right? Like you're paying city tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is there a separate y'all? And just so everybody's clear, if you're not, and the only reason I know this is because my brother used to live in Skippers, which is at like exit 2 in Virginia. Rocky Mount is the first city that you enter in North Carolina when you cross the Virginia border. So it's North Carolina. And so this is the stuff that drives me crazy. This is why I be in rabbit holes, y'all. This is why I be in rabbit holes.
Man, cool her off. Go get her some ice. I was backstage cleaning up, and I realized that our guest is here.
I saw you admit I didn't want to pull him up mid-story.
Yeah, I didn't say you didn't. I was just jumping in like double dutch right now, Renee. You know. So now that you're finished your story, let's go ahead and bring up our guest. He goes by the name of Chuck Mariano.
Hey, what's good, Chuck?
Hey, Evans. It's great to be here. It is great to be here. I can't tell you.
All right.
Good having you, brother.
There's an echo. Who's the echo?
Is that my echo?
No, that was me.
Okay. Great to see you, Renee.
Hey, Chuck. What's up? Me and Chuck had a long conversation the other day, which prompted this. So I'm super excited that you're here. We're gonna hold on to you as long as we can until we get to 10. And we got a bunch to talk about. So we're gonna talk about some other stuff first because Air Doctor has a guest at 9. And then once Air Doctor's guests come on, and y'all, I promise you I'm gonna try not to act like a goofball because y'all don't even understand how much I love Shantae Moore. But anywho, we're gonna get into why I really wanted you to come on, Chuck. So we're gonna hold that until after the guests. But if you do not mind indulging, we can talk about some other stories.
Let's indulge
while we hang.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Evan?
Well, before we jump to the next one, I do want to highlight Chidi Masha, who came to see you on Saturdays with Renee. Right? Was that? Am I making that up? Am I making that up, Renee?
Yeah. No.
Oh no.
Chidi got on.
Yeah. Shout out to Chidi. So this publicly owned entities are engineered to fail to become privatized. It's a smaller scale than the IMF and World Bank does, which is exactly the point that you were making, Renee. So just wanted to highlight that, right? Not only, as you said, right, probably there is a company right behind this, but even with that, right, this idea that it's being presented publicly owned and failing in this way is also part of that argument.
100%.
But awful story, but unfortunately there are more for today. So we can jump to this one. This is the USS Lincoln issue.
Which, by the way, when I see stories about stuff going wrong in the military, there's like a small part of me that be like, that's why you shouldn't join the military. Because these motherfuckers don't care about you. They don't care about you.
Exactly. Yeah, man. And I've seen stuff on social media of like people showing what's happening, the food that they're getting, the type of plumbing issues that they're having on these ships. Like they're not having a good time, right? And hopefully they take that hint and get out of there. Top U.S. commander acknowledges mental health issues on USS Lincoln. Even the headline of this is a little weird, right? Acknowledges, right? Like, yeah. Thank you for acknowledging that there's an issue. U.S. Central Command Commander Admiral Brad Cooper on Sunday acknowledged mental health challenges aboard the USS Lincoln after reports that a sailor jumped overboard amid the aircraft carrier's long Middle East deployment. Quote, here's an important fact. Of the U.S. Navy's 11 active aircraft carriers, the Lincoln currently has among the lowest numbers of cases related to mental health, end quote. Cooper said in a statement posted on X following his visit to the ship on Saturday. Quote, this doesn't mean that all is perfect. Find any of the nearly 4 million Navy veterans in America today, and they will likely tell you that service at sea for long periods isn't for everyone. Again, I'm going to stop it right there. First two paragraphs, somebody literally jumped off the ship because they are in such mental distress. And this is the best situation. Like, I don't, even reading the quote, I was like, I don't think.
But also they're lying. So this is the thing that I don't think people really understand. They're not supposed to still be there. Like, they were out on a short deployment, and then the United States started dropping bombs on Iran, and they got stuck at sea waiting to see if there was something they needed them to go do. Mm-hmm. So they've now been at sea for this unreasonable amount of time, which was not planned. It's been 8. Like, can y'all imagine living on a boat for 8 months with a bunch of people that you barely know? And we all know the chaos that ensues within military spaces. So this whole, like, we're going to pretend like, oh, well, we sent them, they should be prepared for this. Stop lying. Stop lying to people.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So thank you, Renee, for pointing that out. We should understand everything in the story is mostly a lie, right? Like, it's probably a lie, right? In the sense of this, they're trying to give us the rosiest picture of what's happening. But to me, I think that was what struck me, right? Given that they're trying to, we know that they would do that. So the fact that they would admit this, right, means that things must be so much worse than we could probably imagine. And what struck me about this quote is this admiral, this person trying to hold up the fact that these are the best cases, rather the best mental health is on this ship. Right? I'm like, so what's happening on the other ones? Somebody jumped off this ship, right? A couple of people who've jumped off the ship had various mental issues. Like, what is the state of these other carriers then? So I don't know. Just the idea that they would hold that up as the example was fascinating. Let me see. Cooper's visit and statement followed reports of widespread morale and mental health issues aboard the Lincoln, which has been deployed for more than 8 months. The Navy Times reported last week that several sailors had attempted to go overboard. And Stars and Stripes also reported on widespread mental health issues, right? So again, they're only even addressing this because it's so overwhelming, right? The impact of this and how many people are being affected. That's the only reason this is even being addressed. So yeah, we should assume that it's much worse. Cooper, good imperialist that he is, the top U.S. commander in the war with Iran. The U.S. Initiated illegal war on Iran, said his visit to the ship was, quote, awe-inspiring, and lauded the crew for, quote, stepping up and making mental health and crew resilience a leadership priority. It's like this BS, man.
Chuck's got the smile going. What do you think, Chuck?
I mean, I'm thinking, this is not what they signed up for to begin with. A lot of people join the military because they want to pay for college or something. They ran out of options. I was this close to joining ROTC for that very reason, because I just wanted to pay for college. And when we had we still have the federal takeover here in DC, but the response to many people were different. I know the National Guard, for instance, they were kids trying to pay for college, and the approach to them might be different to flip them. But that also applies to just many in the military. And you thought you're going to be there a couple months, and you realize it's something different. And then we don't know, and I'm just pontificating here, we don't know the psychological effect of if they know what they're now there for. You know, I've interviewed a lot of veterans for peace who are protesters now, and had a lot of discussions off interviews, and they deal with a lot. I mean, they deal with a lot because a lot of those people went in for what they thought were like good reasons and positive reasons, and then they get in there and they find out they're getting orders to kill children, and that messes with them the rest of their lives, and they're probably out there protesting to make amends for how they were used as tools. I don't know if that plays a part in some of the people who are jumping overboard or thinking about jumping overboard, but all of that comes to play, and it's all on the table when you realize the monster and the beast that you are a part of that you didn't know that you signed up for.
Yeah, absolutely, Chuck. Absolutely. And an excellent point to point out the fact that we have actually no idea what the origin. I mean, it's ostensibly framed in this way that they've been out at sea too long, right? Yeah. Like that's the way it's framed. But to your point, who knows? Who knows the myriad of things that they're experiencing either in the ship and being asked to do, what if they're seeing, right? And how all of that is probably contributing to their deteriorating mental health, right? Excellent point. Excellent point, Chuck.
And just saying, like, folks in the chat, look, I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for people who sign up for stuff and then it doesn't go well. Like, yes, you definitely, like, maybe should have read a book or something about, like, how the U.S. rolls as far as, you know, its uses of military. But I also think it's important for people to understand that we live in a capitalist system that creates a level of desperation in people that we should never forget. Right? Like, I agree with you, Chuck. I think a bunch of people who go into the military because they feel like they don't have any other options, right? So you go in, you're like, I'm just going to do my time. I'm going to get this thing done, try and get my degree when I get out. Like, there's a lot of things that play. And I also, like, there's a part of me that's like, yo, like, go, work on a farm or something instead. Like, go do something else. But I'm also not, like, I am not going to be like, oh, well, that's what they get. They should, because all of y'all who get up every morning and you go do a job, I promise you, 99% of y'all are going to do a job that you are working for a shitty person who doesn't treat their workers well, who doesn't do anything to help the system, who's not working to help the greater success for regular people. So, like, let's not pretend, right? Like these people, like, oh, it's so absurd. You went into the military. Y'all get up every morning and you go work for assholes too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like this is people just try to survive, man.
We're all complicit. I'm looking into a phone right now that has cobalt and coltan that contributes to the Congo and the genocide in the Congo right now. I'm not completely sure how to escape it and whatnot. On some level, we're all complicit. My approach is, how do we oppress less? It's in this capitalistic system. But I do want to say this. And I hear what you're saying, Renee. I want to say that it is important to understand the mechanics, and I sort of learned that from some of the veterans who were part of these responses to ICE and the federal takeover, that many of the veterans, they might treat ICE one way. They would go harass ICE, get the hell out of here, because anyone joining ICE knew what they were signing up for. They were signing up for brutality and racism and all of that. So they would harass them, get the hell out of here. We don't want you here, until they left, right? But when they dealt with National Guard, they had a very different approach. They went to them in a softer approach and just said, listen, it is your right to not take any order that you believe to be illegal. And if that happens, we want you to call this number. We don't want you necessarily to be discharged. This is what we want you to do. They were trying to flip the National Guard through education to refuse bad orders. And it was a very different approach that they took with them. And then if you even go back to the Vietnam War, there were many soldiers who flipped during that time, which played a role in the end of Vietnam War. So I think from just a strategic point of view, the more we understand what's going on in different people's brains, is there a strategy that can be employed to flip them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, we have to be dialectical in our approach, right? We have to understand that the different institutions, people are coming to them in different ways. We have to approach them differently, right? There's a reason why 18-year-olds, children, right, are being recruited into the military. And I recently saw something.
And there's also a reason that people go watch movies and watch TV, and military is elevated, and and people pretend on screen like there's this dialectic battle going on in the military leadership's head, and like all of this shit is propaganda. And my
Right.
point is not like people are not like, oh, so are the IDF working? Y'all just shut the fuck up. Like, you're not listening. Listen to what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you is there are a multitude of reasons that people end up on that fucking ship. That's it. That's my point. There's a multiple of reasons that there are people on that ship. And you can make the assumption like, oh, fuck all of them. Like, that's what they get. Or you can recognize that we live in a system that literally boxes you into a position where you don't know how you're going to eat, and you make the decision that you can make at that moment, right? Like, Jared ended up in the Navy because he didn't want to go to jail, right?
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of shit that people struggle through. And I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm not even saying it's the majority. I don't know how. I didn't go in either, right? Like, I chose not to join the military, but my father did. Why? Because he wanted to go to college and he couldn't afford to do it, and he figured he'd use his GI Bill to get his degree. People make decisions that they make. So you decide like, I'm never going to go I'm never going to go in the military. Fuck that. I'm not going to go kill other people. But then maybe you get a corporate job where your 401k is in part financed by fucking BlackRock. So I'm just saying, y'all, like, just dialectics, just pay attention, because this shit is ingrained. And what they want you to do is to sit back and just, oh, they're fucked up, fuck them, da 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 da. And you're not even taking account for all the shit that is around you that you are also a part of, right? It's not normalization. I'm not normalizing it because I already said that I would never join. You know what? Let me stop looking at this person because I'm going to get frustrated. Let me get out the chat. Let me get out.
No, Renee, you're absolutely right. And I think Cloud made the point in the chat, but and I think y'all have talked about this, Fort Bragg cartel, right? Like, we should also be aware of the fact that not only are people brought in as really very young people, children, right? I know I'm not trying to infantilize people, but like, my point is, like, people brought in incredibly young, right? Raised in a society where their options are incredibly limited. This is also within a context where access to college is getting more and more expensive, right? They're not, the job market is terrible, right? And these recruiters intentionally go to Black and brown low income communities to recruit, right? And to sell people a dream around what they're going to get. And then they get into the military and people are sexually assaulted and abused, right? Fort Bragg Cartel is one of those books that actually talks about that, right? And people have, So it would be irresponsible of us to just skate over all of that as if all of this is the same, right? And it's not, and it is, again, not to excuse, right, any of this stuff that goes on, right, but to understand why people materially are driven to these spaces, what kind of propaganda they experience. I mean, Jared talks about all this all the time, right? The Beyonce of Black liberation media himself, right, was forced to go into the military, as Renee said. And we exist, right, in this entire propaganda situation. We're just talking about the Spider-Man movie, right? I mean, how many people grew up watching these movies, right, where the military and cops are presented as heroes, right? We cannot like minimize that and the way that people are propagandized and how people end up in these places. And that is not to minimize it. And we can be honest, right, about all the contradictions they're in, right? But I don't know.
And we could even take that one step further. For years, the Pentagon was paying the NFL to have military flyovers, to have military tributes. They're paying them millions of dollars. And even though a few years ago, after some pushback, it technically got cut off, the NFL kept it. You cannot go to a game without seeing a flyover and 4 military tributes and the police being honored. This is all, major propaganda. And, the fascists and the imperialists understand this very well. Trump actually understands this very well. For all the dumb things Trump does and says, he understands that a lot better, the use of popular culture and use of sports, than maybe people fighting for human rights understand that. So, the propaganda is rich, it's thick, and it's everywhere.
Absolutely. There's not too much more I wanted to share about this story, right? I think the last thing I wanted to acknowledge was the fact that there is this, of course, the Democrats are, one Democrat in particular, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat from New York, serves on the Senate Armed Service and Intelligence Committee, said in a statement on Saturday that, quote, there must be accountability for the reported deteriorating conditions endured by our service members serving in a reckless war started with no justification, no strategy, no end in sight. I demand hearings, accountability, and a clear plan to protect our service members and prioritize American families. Nothing about the illegal war that they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even in these Democrats are highlighting, right, that they're just the other side of imperialism, right? And that they're not actually questioning fundamentally the U.S.'s role in the world as an imperialist nation. It's just, we need to treat our people better so that they can go do these illegal things, right? So that was the last piece I wanted to, that was the last point I wanted to make about that. But I know we're at 8:57, so I don't know if we have time for another story if we want to.
I think we should probably take the pause now.
Okay, yeah.
And let
I think so.
Doctor.
What's good, my people? Great reporting as usual. Happy to be back in here. Chuck, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great for coming on at 8:30 in the morning. Put it that way.
right. Yo, we definitely got to talk about some sports going on too.
Oh, we have to.
We just had the Atlanta Dream play at the Fever, and your girl was lighting them up. She was hitting them with the dimes. We gonna get into that.
All right.
Anyway,
look forward to it.
No doubt. All right, so let's take our quick break, and then we're gonna come back. We got guests coming through. So this is the Remix Morning Show. In case y'all didn't know, y'all right here. Let's do it. All right. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out. As you can hear, I'm rocking a little, giving some props to another artist. Who are we talking about? We are talking about no other than Fela. Yes, my son got me this album right here for my 50th. This is the Gentleman album. Now, this Gentleman album that Fela came out with is pretty dope. The reason he put a monkey in a suit is showing that, sometimes we like to put on a suit to try to look like other people, but you look like a monkey in a suit. So he said, this is Gentleman. So this album right here was pretty dope. It had 3 songs on it. Not a whole lot of songs, but you know how Fela do. His song would be like 80 minutes. Now this album came out in 1973. And it was a very dope album. Like I said, 3 songs. You had Gentleman on one side, Egbe on the other side, Fifi Ne I Fi on the other one. And like I said, this was really about him letting people know, just because you dress like them, that don't mean you are them. All right, so big up to Fela. Now, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yo. Let's do it like this. Let me take this off the screen. What's good? We got Queen Sheba in the building. Say less. I got you.
What's up, Naka? I just saw you.
Yes, we was just doing the Pan African Fest. You was hosting it, tearing it down as usual. You know what I'm saying? So it was good to see you. This is Renee. This is Evan, Queen Sheba. We had her on here before. Part of the Hip Hop Verse Poetry. She is the sister that founded that. Now and you got a new album coming out, which is pretty dope. And you got some dope people you're putting this album together with Toxic Love that is falling tomorrow. Coming out tomorrow.
Hold on. Man, let me tell you, it is not just my album. It is an album of a amazing genius brainchild, Ronnie Jackson, who is a multi-platinum A-list producer here in Atlanta.
Hmm.
And I thought Rita was going to jump on, but my manager in the A&R for the album, her name is Rita Davis. She introduced me to him because it was a funny story. He was looking for this poet on Instagram that he had seen. And then when he met me, he was like, oh, it's you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it was amazing. Yeah, he is also part of the Atlanta Grammy chapter, as I am. And he was like, yo, I've watched you be nominated 3 years in a row. Let's do this. And I was like, wow. So it was just, I mean, he is responsible for Glorilla. He has produced albums for Ruben Studdard, Mary J. Blige,
Usher,
Usher.
Sexy Red.
Sexy Red. I
Yeah.
mean,
Even
and it's
Britney.
and Britney Spears, yeah, and a country singer. I forgot
Yeah.
what his name is. What's his name? Rita. I know you.
Don't get me lying.
I know
But
it's
for
McCory.
everybody. But
Everybody.
that's the dope thing.
Everybody.
It's like you got this platinum producer, then you go get Shantae Moore, who's
Then
been come
he
on.
gets Shantae Moore. He was
Okay.
like, so we have this. He has been friends with Shantae Moore for more than 20 years, and she's amazing, down to earth. She's so kind. And when we met, we hugged. It was just so dope. So she was in town for a little more than a week in May. It crossed over Cinco de Mayo. But Rita introduced me to him 2 days after the Grammys. I was like, I'm done. I did 4 albums 4 years in a row. Like, it's tapped everything out of me emotionally, financially, because I'm not part of a record label, right? And
Mhm.
being with Ronnie and Shantae and Rita, this is
So
the closest I'll ever get. This is amazing.
this was too early for Shantae and Lil Ronnie, but Rita was able to make it.
Come on, Rita.
You know what? I have been playing my AR duties trying to get him on the phone. He is traveling as a hardworking man. He is out in LA on the West Coast. He said, I'm going to get up, but he didn't make it up.
What
So
had
maybe
happened
he'll
was,
pop in.
So this is Rita.
Hello, everybody.
all right.
Hey, man, let me. You know what's crazy is she introduced me to him on the humbug before we even left LA. She was like, "Yeah, I got this producer I want you to meet," and she just downplayed it, like, "Yeah, I got
Mhm.
this producer I want you to meet," and I was like, "Oh Lord, Atlanta and their producers," and then I
Ugh.
was like, so we started going up 400. I was like, "Oh, this might be real."
Mhm.
I was like, okay. So we had a really organic 3-hour conversation, the three of us, and he's dope. I mean, I say this as a compliment. He's a human being, a regular brother. He listens, and he's a monster at what he does, and I'm beyond excited. He was like, after the 3-hour conversation, he gets up and was like, you know what? We're gonna get Shantae Moore in this, and I was like, whoop.
Yo. When I told Renee Shantae was gonna be here, she was like, "What?" So
I didn't
She'll be
believe
here.
you. I was like, he don't. I was sending album covers in the chat, like what?
and
Because y'all don't
just
even
tapped
y'all
back,
don't even understand.
da, 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 da. That's all I just tapped back. I was just like, you know what it is. Come on, stop playing.
Yeah. So, I almost fangirled out, but she's so dope and just down to earth. And she was here last week when Rita set up our official album um photo shoot, and she's great. I mean, I can't even. I mean, the 4 of us plus where's Prince at, Rita? We need to get him on one of these. Prince is a bass player and engineer and producer, and he used to do Al Smith's jam sessions at the original Patio on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the 5 of us. The dynamic is just so amazing. The album, y'all. The album was at perfect timing. I was fresh out of a breakup. I'm talking about 2 weeks. No, maybe like 5, depending on how long you want to count my ghosting. I was ghosted for 4 weeks. Then I had
Mm.
to call. Yeah, I mean, like, come on, people. You know,
Love,
if you
love
go,
can be toxic. Love can be
it can
toxic.
definitely be toxic. It's the perfect name for the album, and all the poems. I am definitely spilling detailed, without a
A
name or
lot
without a
of detail.
face,
A lot
Hmm.
of
detailed
detail.
tea for sure.
Okay, and because I was listening to a couple tracks,
Every
like
time I say that I'm done with you,
this running
I
back
just
right here. Come on, stop playing. And
then
then they give you a little sultriness with Shantae on that part, and then your girl Queen Sheba comes in right after that with
I just
some
keep
wilding out like this. Check this out. Here we go.
This ain't heartbreak.
Oh, that's
This is
Crash Out.
withdrawal.
That one's Crash Out.
The
Yes.
bed smelled like their hair.
So there you get in poetry, you get in R&B singing, you get in top tier production. This is like some flowetry shit, like
Now you know.
American flowetry shit.
Let me tell you something. I wish Flowetry. What's amazing about them is they're so amazing. They
Oh,
Yep,
Uh
okay.
oh.
they're so amazing that they created a whole.
Well, tell us,
Uh
Rita. They created a whole what?
oh. Here she comes.
They they see me on your podcast and they call and I'm like, this is not the time to call, bro.
Oh my
Like,
god!
they're
I was
like,
about
I
to
see
say you
you
got
on
that
the
cricket.
podcast. I'm like, then
You
why
got
are
that
you
cricket
calling?
wireless over there. Go ahead.
We're live right now.
Man, let me tell you, I wish I had Cricket Wireless because what's that bill? $12 a month?
Facts.
Just
Stop playing. Take it back to the
hello.
metro.
Oh my
But
God, right?
yeah,
But
but
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
R&B poetry. This is a spoken word album. I want everybody to know that. And Ronnie said we're going to do a spoken word album. And I said, what? Because, when Rita said he wants to meet you, I didn't know if he was going to have me do an intro or if I didn't know what, the conversation was going to go. He was like, no, we're doing a spoken word album. He was like, let's go and win this thing. I said,
Dope.
say less, bro. I mean, the production is crazy. It starts off, I think we did the timing, Rita. I think it's like 85% poetry. And also at the same time, like if we were to put it on a chart, you get all of Shantae singing on every single track, except for the intro. I'm doing a poem for the intro. But
Okay.
besides that, she's singing on every single track. And I'm excited.
All right. And
Yeah.
this drops tomorrow.
Tonight at
Tomorrow
midnight.
tonight
Tonight
at
at
Midnight.
midnight.
midnight. All
Tonight
right.
at
All right.
midnight.
I
And
just
when go
I
ahead.
just want to say, just back it up to the force that is Queen Sheba, right?
Mhm.
Because, initially the conversation started off as Ronnie wanting to do the album. And we've been friends for years. And he was like, I'm going to pull somebody from Instagram. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Mm.
Absolutely not. I've got someone. And he was like, let us get through the Grammys. And like she said, I'm thinking it was going to be a little further down. But of course, both, they've got the power of just passion and redemption going forward, them both being nominated last year and pretty much witnessing, okay, we need to win this and let's do this together. So
Okay.
it's amazing. Like you said, it's going back and forth. You got love, you got a little scandal, there's moments of, I feel like I'm floating, and another moment, there's going to be a knife flying from somewhere. So
Mm.
it's absolutely amazing work for
So
everybody.
so when will we be able to see y'all live? When will be like one of the first shows we
Wow,
can check
you
out?
know what? You're like the fifth person to ask us that. So the official, unofficial answer is we are working on two types of listening parties. One is going to be what we're calling the golden ticket
Hmm.
press only listening party, where we're going to invite you
Oh yeah.
and other press people to come up to the studio. We don't have a date yet. Ronnie and Rita are working on that.
Okay.
And then everybody wants to see a rollout. When I tell you, everybody named Mama has asked for a rollout concert.
Yeah.
So whenever Rita and Ronnie come up with that date, I know we're gonna be working on a music video in the middle of September. Is that right, Rita?
Yes. Coming up. It's
For
coming up.
never,
So
yeah,
yes.
for Never Again, which
Okay.
is the first single, and then
Single.
I believe, and I wish he was on here. I believe the one that you just played,
Running back.
No, not running back.
Sorry.
Crash Out. I
Crash
think
Out.
Crash Out is going to be the next single. I said, what?
Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, because everybody goes through that breakup withdrawal, especially when you really love someone, but you got to let them go, and it's just like, man, you
All
know.
right. All right.
So
I can't wait, man. I'm gonna be tuned in at 12 o'clock.
yeah,
Making sure I listen to this album completely all the way through.
we'll hit you up because I think we're
Yeah.
gonna go do a toast somewhere in Midtown. Just
Okay.
just a couple of us. So we'll hit
Let's
you up.
do it.
Yeah, it's
Let's
called
Oh,
do it.
you
A
guys are
Toxic Love,
local in
y'all.
Atlanta?
Well, I'm in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
he's in Atlanta.
Okay.
They're in
Okay. Awesome.
DC, Jersey, New York.
Okay.
We all
Wonderful.
spread around. That's the beautiful
Yeah.
thing about this whole internet
Wonderful.
thing.
I got a
Renee, Evan,
question
you got any?
for
Okay.
I got a question for Rita. Can we tell him about the big thing, the other big thing, or no? Because this is a podcast, so it wouldn't matter if we did tell him.
No, we're
Mm.
gonna keep that under wraps. But there
Oh,
are some great
all right.
things coming up.
We'll
So
bring y'all back.
tune in.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
bring us back.
Okay. We'll bring
Okay.
y'all back. And you
A
listen, this
toxic love, a toxic love, a toxic love. The way you remember it is ATL. It's not
ATL.
called ATL, but that's how you remember it. A toxic love. And even if you have Apple Music right now before midnight, you get two of the songs that are released. So just go to A Toxic Love. You got to put in all our names: Queen Sheba, Shantae, just like that. Queen Sheba, Shantae Moore, and Ronnie Jackson. Doesn't matter what order you put them in. We're all on their equal billing. And put it in there. You'll see that album cover come up, and you will get Never Again, or never. What is it called? Never Ever, Never Again.
let me
Never
find
again.
out. You better
Never
know your
again.
damn titles.
I know,
Never again.
I know, because yeah, it's
Never
like never
again
ever,
will
never,
she
but
forget that. Never again.
Never again will you
never,
forget that.
Right.
never again.
Word. Well, listen,
Never again.
Rita Davis, Queen Sheba, thank y'all for coming to the Remix Morning Show. Evan, Renee,
Thank you,
y'all good?
Naka.
Or
No, thank you so much. I wanted to see. I know you said you were going to do a concert. Are you going to maybe do a tour? Are people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, are people going to be able to see you other places?
Where are you at?
I'm in DC.
Oh, we're gonna come up and see you. Don't worry.
yeah, you go to the Swirl City. Ain't chocolate no more, but
Yeah.
all right, cool. Let's be real. Let's be real.
We've
Thank
been
y'all.
trying to get down and see in Renee. Who's in Alabama?
Shit, nobody.
Oh, okay, that's my fault.
Well, it's some
Renee,
people.
where you at?
I'm in Jersey.
Oh, we're gonna come to Jersey too. Yep. Let's
There
do
we
the
go.
Jersey pack.
I'm in. Just
Stop
listen.
playing. Y'all gonna go to New York. Talking about y'all gonna go to Jersey.
No, the Jersey pack
going
is
to
that's a
Jersey,
big Jersey
Okay,
pack.
let me
pulls
find
a lot of
out.
people in.
Hey, I'm from Jersey. I
pack
ain't
is
gonna-
dope.
Okay, let me say less.
Right
Let
here,
me say
doctor.
less. Let me
Hey,
stop
you wanna
disrespecting my
be our
town.
tour DJ Naka?
Hey, holler at me. You know, we'll see. Nah, but yo, thank y'all for coming through. We're gonna bring y'all back. Listen to this album, go cop the album, and blast it in your speakers anywhere you at. Rock out. Queen Sheba, Rita Davis, Toxic Love. Thank y'all for coming through. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I'm the Ear Doctor. That's Renee Johnson. That's Evan. And that's Chuck Madi Yano. Can't help it.
The whole show to be
He
able to
tried. He tried.
I can't help it.
I know.
Listen,
I
I
knew it.
announce people's names for weddings and stuff like that. You know how extra I am? I'm like your boy in the ring. Let's get ready to rumble. Anyway. So where we at, y'all? What's good? We are back.
So I think we should just get to why I wanted Chuck to come on, because we've been having quasi conversations about the WNBA, the NBA, all this madness. We've talked about Caitlin Clark a couple of times. And for folks who are unfamiliar for whatever crazy reason with Chuck Moriano, he is also fully versed in the statistics of the sports. And so Chuck has also been having a lot of conversations about Caitlin Clark and some of the things that maybe folks are not really thinking about. And so we got into this conversation a little bit, and I was like, you got to come on so we could talk about this. So Chuck, let's talk about Caitlin Clark.
We need a Caitlin Clark.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We got
It's
Olivia Miles. We got Olivia Miles. We good.
Dare I say it's a toxic love story of Caitlin Clark, okay? And we can get into why it's so toxic. It's like Caitlin Clark has a mob behind her, or a mob, a very bigoted mob. I'm not saying all Caitlin Clark fans are bigoted.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that by any stretch. But she brings in a lot of bigoted fan base, not those that came for her greatness, those that came for her whiteness. And then on top of that, you have a corporate base that caters to this mob for capitalistic clicks, and anything that this mob says, they will cater to because it means more clicks. And when you add it all together, it's scary. I think it's scary, and I don't think people realize it. A lot of times I'm talking about these things, and people who are covering protests who know me, Chuck, why are you talking about Caitlin Clark? We got like 3 genocides going on. ICE are taking people off the street, all of these things. And I really fear this mob in a societal way. When they see a foul that we have seen for a long time, and we just said, hey, that's a hard foul, keep it moving. They see assault on this white one. Yeah. This is what they see. That you never cared is Draymond on a Tuesday foul, and you are going absolutely crazy. Or what we've been watching in the NBA for decades, or we've been watching a black woman on another black woman in the WNBA. Why are you having this crazy reaction? Wasn't
it like Cunningham that got hit by that black sister and
Dejounte Carrington, right?
The Florida guy was like, "Yo, she should be locked up."
That's right. You had senators who were like, "She should be locked up." You have Congress people, 11 Congress people writing letters. It's so far past fandom. See, Dejounte fouled her. It was a hard foul. She got a flagrant 2, justifiably. Keep it moving. She writes white privilege when she's in the locker room, and this group hears "kill Whitey." That's what they heard. They didn't see white privilege. Like we have to be honest about this. And she could have been meaning many things when she said white privilege. Sophie Cunningham, who scores 9 points a game, all of a sudden has the 2nd highest selling jersey in the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham, last year when she was violent and tackled J.C. Sheldon, another player, in protection of Caitlin Clark, it enhanced her standing. She got 1 million TikTok followers within a week. She got endorsements by Ring as a result of her being an enforcer. This was a good thing for Sophie Cunningham. But with Dejounte Carrington, not so good. And we have to look at, these various aspects of how can such a 2-bit player, 8-9 point per game player, rise to the 2nd highest selling jersey. We've never seen that before.
Wait a minute. Jeremy Lin. Right?
Okay, how long did that last?
I'm just saying though, right? But
right, how long did that last?
It's like when they get somebody that's not of an ethnicity and they come into the sport, it's like, oh, we got to lift them up. So it's a little different.
I will say this though, for those 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Jeremy Lin balled out. Jeremy Lin was scoring 41 points a game. There was a promise of Jeremy Lin, and the second Jeremy Lin was exposed, and there was actually a day when that happened, and Miami Heat realized he couldn't go left. Torch. When he was exposed, that was the end of Linsanity. And that if you go through history, Tiger won a Masters at 21. MJ scoring 63 in the playoffs in his 2nd season. Serena winning U.S. Open at 17. That every time there was a phenomena, they had to deliver on being that phenomena. And Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA with a promise that she would be Steph Curry, and what she ended up being is Trae Young. And that's not a stray. That's not a stray.
Could she be assists? Her assists are good. I give her that, but she ain't as.
Her assists are good. Her record turnovers you won't see in those stats. But her record turnovers. And if you want to get into stats, there's a stat called win shares, right? And I don't want to get too nerdy with it, but I'm a little bit nerdy. And win shares is your greatest MVP predictor, right? In other words, the last 12 years, the WNBA MVP has been 1 or 2 in win shares. Basically, win shares takes all the stats and pulls them together. Takes Caitlin's points and assists, but merges them with her record turnovers, her low shooting percentage, and her terrible defense. And it puts them all together into one stat. If you go back the last 20 years in the NBA, all the MVPs were top 5 in win shares. If you go back to the history of the WNBA, 28 of the 29 MVPs were top 5 in win shares. Caitlin Clark is number 16 right now in win shares, but all of her fans believe she's like the best player in the WNBA, even better than Aja Wilson, who's by far and away the best player in the WNBA.
But doesn't this go back to the great white hope in boxing? Like, it's always...
It does.
Yeah.
It does, but we have always been insulated in sports. Sports has been your only meritocracy that we've ever had. You can't trump your way into being president. An owner can't pick their son and say, play point guard for my team. You got to deliver. You have to have some level of meritocracy, which doesn't mean people don't get robbed. A couple of years ago, Josh Allen, who had an MVP type year, was given the MVP over a more deserving Lamar Jackson. So that happens, but it had to be Josh Allen. It couldn't be Derek Carr. You couldn't just pick any white quarterback that you wanted. And what we're seeing now is the first time I've ever seen in sports ever that someone so undeserving is being touted as the best player, and that her fan base, her monstrous fan base, believe it to be so when every statistic says otherwise. So they have a whole separate category of statistics, call it alternative stats, because they just make stats up and to make you believe that she's better than she is. And it offends me as a sports fan, and it offends me as someone who looks at mathematics. If you like into mathematics, it should offend you. And it's not just a sports thing. She's very dangerous.
But Chuck, we're looking at this as entertainment for some. For the people that own these teams, it's a business. She's great for business. She's gonna get all these people from these farms and people that usually don't go and come out to these games and spend that corporate money that a lot of us ain't got. So it's a great business move on their side, and they don't give a fuck about the entertainment.
What I'm saying is the trade ain't worth it. And can I get historical for 1 second here? I'm not going to call myself a sports historian because I've seen the real ones and I have too much respect for them. But in the media realm, I know some things. Take Len Bias. We just passed the 40th anniversary of Len Bias' death. And a lot of people who are activists in mass incarceration don't even know Len Bias is. And Len Bias, he was the number 2 pick from the Celtics. And he had overdosed 2 days after being drafted by the Celtics. His promise was to be the next Michael Jordan. And at that moment in time, there was a hysteria going on. There was a crack hysteria. And there was all of these reports going on, crack babies and all of that. And when he died, Tip O'Neill, the Democratic House Speaker, said, get me some legislation on my desk right now. The only thing anybody is talking about is Len Bias. And this is 1986. And what they did after that is use Len Bias to ram through the most draconian legislation for the next 30 years, 40 years, mandatory minimum sentences. Crack versus cocaine disparity from a little bag to a Domino's bag of sugar of cocaine versus a tiny bag of crack. All types of horrific legislation that would affect mass incarceration, and particularly black people, because they weren't, using a lot of these laws on white people at the time. And the match with this hysteria was an athlete named Len Bias. And I'm going to submit to you that this mob is so unhinged, so crazy, that people aren't getting it. That if Caitlin Clark goes up, like, say, Gordon Hayward. I don't know if everyone remembers Gordon Hayward. He went up and he came down and he broke his leg. He went to the Celtics and he broke his leg. No one blamed the player next to him. Nobody did that. My biggest fear is that she goes up, she breaks her leg on the same play. And I am telling you, this mob, which includes Congress, which includes all the right wingers, will be changing laws in this country. We'll have Caitlin laws in this country, and it could be worse if we're talking about vigilantism. And someone listening to this might think I'm just being hyperbolic. No, I'm saying this with a historical lens. I have never seen a force and a mob as unhinged, as delusional, as wild and crazy as this mob. And I want people who don't follow sports to pay attention that it's not just entertainment.
And Chuck, can you also talk about part of why Caitlin is so useful for the mob? Because part of this is also she's cisgender,
Yes.
right? She is not a lesbian. She
Yeah.
well, so she said, I'm not in her house, but that's right.
Yeah.
So there's also a part of
Of course.
this elevation that is, look, we can have the type of player we want in the WNBA, right? So
Right.
there's also a lot of that playing into this cell of the type of player that they want, because nobody, when it was black women have been playing in the NBA and saying, like, y'all need to pay attention to us, to our game, to what we're doing for decades now, right? So can we talk about that a little bit
Yeah.
also?
Yeah, no, that's actually a huge part of it. The reason these Congress people are jumping in, the reason these DAs, district attorneys, are saying she should be arrested, Dijon and A. Carrington, the reason all these people are going nuts. Charlie Kirk, before he passed, he was weighed in. Before he was killed, he was weighed in. So many people, James Woods, people who never talk about sports weigh in. The WNBA is a threat. It is, as it grows in popularity, it is a threat. Many people do not, it's about probably a 30 to 40% lesbian. A lot of people do not want their young girls looking up to these lesbians in the WNBA and say, I want to be like them. So these right wingers are freaking out. It's so far beyond Caitlyn. And Caitlyn is their vehicle to say, we don't like this WNBA. And she is this white heterosexual hero, because every time you say to them, listen, it's basically the mob says this. All the black WNBA players hate her. That's why they foul her hard. They don't respect her. And you're like, well, they love Paige Beckers. They like Brianna Stewart. They like all these other white players. No other white players. But if you bring up another white player and she's lesbian, they'll be like, well, she's not straight. Well, then you could bring up some, Sabby Ionesco. You could bring up the Kelsey Plum. They're straight. That doesn't move them. So they have it in their head that this is the reason Caitlyn is hated in their mind. So if like a vote comes and the WNBA players vote her like the 8th, 9th best guard, which she is actually, according to data, they think is because these black women hate her. That is their formulation for everything. So you have the WNBA as the center of the culture war as they ascend in race, in gender, in homophobia, the whole nine. So this is the new battleground on a cultural stage, and you have many bad faith actors who are trying to use Caitlyn in that way.
So you feel like Caitlyn is a pawn in the game? She's just getting used by them.
She's a pawn in the game. She is being used by them. But the problem is there are very few athletes who hit a stage of capitalistic value that everyone's in on the lie. That everyone is in on the lie. That anyone online who posts some stupid graphic about one of the new 587 new fake records that Caitlyn has broken. You see it every day. First want to do this and that, and they just put any two stupid stats together. They're going to get more clicks. If ESPN does that, they're going to get more clicks. If the mob says she's an MVP candidate, she actually isn't. But they say, you know what, she should be in the conversation. That ESPN article will get more clicks, get more ratings, and the mob will pass it around. The mob is actually bigger than all the previous WNBA fans itself. And we know this by looking at like all-star voting totals the year after she came. It went up fivefold. And so they control everything. They drive everything. And anybody who wants a piece has to mimic that mob. That's where it gets scary. I have not seen such a capitalistic, conspiratorial situation since Lance Armstrong and the entire sports media industry, who all knew he was doping for a decade, looked the other way because the money was too good.
So why do you think they didn't get behind Klitschko in boxing like they do?
Have you watched Klitschko fight?
Yeah, wait, let me stop.
No, listen, I'm a big boxing fan. Listen, there's two things. He's so boring. He just jabs. He just jabs for like all day. Also, it doesn't work.
He's the great white hype. Would he be the great white hope?
Well, yeah, you have to be American, okay? Right now,
facts.
Joker has been the the best NBA player the last 6
But
years since 2020. But he's not really charming. He's foreign. He got the wrong last name. They don't know what to do with. They don't really like him the way they didn't like Tim Duncan. We can't market this guy, even though he's white. You can bring a little something to the table as far as like charm. So sometimes that happens. In the WNBA, they have an Aja Wilson problem. Aja Wilson is by far the best player. And they got some great young players, starting with Olivia Miles, Paige Beckers, that they want to promote beyond Caitlin. But Aja's like, I'm still the best. And they want her to not be the best sooner than later.
who's the new white kid on Dallas? That rookie that came in.
Paige Becker. She can
No,
ball.
I'm talking about NBA. Who came in on Dallas? The rookie.
Oh, he can ball too. Cooper Flag's the real deal.
Flag,
That's not white hype.
So they could get. He's American, and they could probably do this with him too.
Oh, well, they can. However, Cooper Flag is not bringing in a delusional base with him. Don't get me wrong. People will get delusional. But the problem with Caitlin's fans coming out of Iowa, she brought in all these casuals who know nothing about basketball, who never watched basketball. She brought them with her. Whereas Cooper Flag is going to be loved, but, you know, people got basketball fans. And Cooper Flag is real. I'm going to tell you right now, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. And normally it's very rare a white American player. We haven't had a real deal white American player since Larry Bird, right? We just haven't at that level. At that level. They've all been foreign. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
New York.
What's that?
Chris Mullin. I was just throwing Chris Mullin in there, but go ahead.
He's the real deal too.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Larry Bird real.
No,
he wasn't at that level. Yeah. St. John's.
Pardon us for nerding out on sports, y'all.
No, I'm good. Look, I'm good. This is why, you know, so this is the thing, right, that I think people sometimes can easily miss. Like, y'all know one of my own contradictions is I still watch the NFL, right? Like I still fully watch. I don't watch the NBA as much just because I just don't enjoy it as much as I used to. But, you know, like for what, you know, like I noticed somebody in the chat was like, wait, people are still watching sports. We're about to go to World War III. I'm like, yeah, people trying to escape. Like people trying to do the thing that they feel like will make them feel happy for like that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. But I also want people to start making the connections between all of these things that is often referred to as entertainment and how it connects to all of the other problems that we encounter on a day-to-day basis within our everyday lives, right? So you think about Caitlin Clark, you might be dismissive of the WNBA and basketball and professional sports and all these things, but there is a role that Caitlin Clark is playing within this elevation of white supremacy that is going to play out in your day-to-day life, right? Because the people who are running around behind her don't give a fuck about the WNBA. They don't actually care about basketball. They don't understand statistics. They're not watching anything. All they want to make sure of is that the white straight girl gets the shine. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's their whole thing. Like, we finally got this white straight girl that we can elevate and put into the shine and make her be the person that everybody wants to be excited about. When I was in LA for my stepdaughter's graduation, they were playing, and the amount of Caitlin Clark jerseys, T-shirts, whatever that went past me, I was like, all these people really, you see, what is happening? But that is because I understand statistics. It is because I played basketball. It is because I know she ain't that good, right? So we have to pay attention to how all of these things all play a role in your day-to-day struggle, because it all plays a role in your day-to-day struggle. And you may not think anything, you may not think your life is going to be impacted at all by this white girl who is playing in the WNBA, but I promise you that there are white people that you are going to encounter who have this idea in their head that white people are just better at everything. And the elevation of someone like a Caitlin Clark feeds that narcissism, right? It feeds that caucasity. So just know, right? And for whoever's in the chat like mad because I keep saying she ain't that good. Like, sorry.
I'm gonna fight back against that because ain't nobody that's not good in the WNBA or NBA. So
I didn't say
that's
she's not good. I said
all
she's
okay.
not that good.
It's all relative.
Not that good.
Not
Like,
top
Okay.
five or
like,
top
for
10.
what
And I ain't
people
gonna
are
front.
elevating her to
Watching
be,
the WNBA and seeing them miss layups and stuff, I'd be like, why are they here? But anyway, go ahead.
listen, the word not when I say
You better jump
not
back in
that
though.
good, I mean she is not good enough for what people are saying she is.
Right.
That's what I mean by she's not that good. I didn't say she can't play. I didn't say she can't shoot threes. I didn't say she can't pass. I recognize all of these things. I know the game. But she ain't that good for what people are pushing her up to be. She's not.
Steph Curry did something amazing. He shot 44% from three his first 8 years. And every coach was like, Steph's going to ruin this game because, yeah, he can do that. But the folks coming after him ain't going to be able to shoot 44% from three. And they were right, by the way, because now we have the copycats. Caitlin shoots 35%. They think she shoots 44% in their brain. She shoots 35%. So she's the third person in attempts, in three-point attempts, but she's number 32 in percentage from three. So this is what we're dealing with. But I really want to address something that we've talked about on our show to Collision for years. What Renee was talking about, and the person who said, listen, we got 3 genocides going on. Why is this important? You know, because we get that all the time, and we've wrestled with this like all the time. The NFL is not boycotting Starbucks or boycotting McDonald's. 2 things which I do, by the way. It's not that. It's not boycotting a product. This is a national conversation piece. In 2023, 97 of the top 100 rated shows in America were football games. 94 NFL and 4 were college football. They only left 3 left, like the State of the Union and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, like that, and one other. This is what we're dealing with. This is a football first country. And you can cede these conversations to the bigots or the imperialists, or if you are knowledgeable, you could interject yourself. They could use that space to have military flyovers. They can use that space to honor police. They could use that to propagandize fascism. Or we could interrupt those spaces. They could use that for racism, for white victimhood, in the case of Caitlin, to convince a white public that they are the ones being discriminated against, not the black women, not black people. That is their tool that they point to. And if we leave that space for those who are equipped to argue in that space, and I was chosen because out of the womb I've been debating sports for no good reason all these years, I think we have to fight in that space. And I think we have to understand we can't cede that space. And it's not the same as boycotting a product, though I understand the concept. Like if you don't know anything about sports, yeah, boycott it. But if you're knowledgeable and you can fight in those spaces, we need you as a soldier in those spaces because culture precedes politics. It always has and it always will. And there's a long history of that going back to, I don't know if anybody saw Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, where they had jazz musicians go to the Congo before as a way to help kill Patrice Lumumba. They were using popular culture and sports washing as a weapon. CIA uses sports and culture as a weapon. So if that is their battlefield, we got to be on that battlefield too.
No doubt. No doubt. It makes complete sense because you got to look at where people are going for escapism. They're going towards sports. They're going towards TV. They're going towards music. So these are the places where you want to get people. Everybody else is just talking, that know what's going on. But if you want to get in touch the people, that's where you got to go. You got to meet them on their battleground.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I love BAP rallies. I've been to many BAP rallies. But there are not as many people there as there are a NFL game, right? Like it's not the same. I have this joke, by the way, with Renee and other people. I always say when I cover a Black Alliance for Peace rally, I say I always walk away with homework. I'm not covering this rally. I always got homework, Now I gotta study Haiti for the next 5 hours to understand things that I couldn't imagine it was being said. But I say all that to say is that you know, I've been covering protests for a long time, and there's a limit to that crowd. Like there's a ceiling on every crowd, every anti-war crowd, every crowd that comes out against police violence. There's a ceiling, and we got to go in spaces where there's no ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when we see these athletes with these shirts that say certain things on them, it's like it's big for a lot of people out there. For us, we're like, oh, that's it. You know what I'm saying? But for the people out there, they're like, yo, we're not used to seeing this. We just trying to escape. Now you bringing this shit in here. So I think some of these athletes should be applauded for not doing the regular and actually representing something. All right.
Thank you for being here, Chuck, because I did not know any of this, and appreciate you breaking it down. Yeah, I mean, this and you're absolutely right. I mean, like, I think all of these grounds, right? All of these grounds that we call entertainment are indeed spaces for propaganda. The government sees it that way, right? White supremacists see it that way. And we should recognize that that's the case, and we should not see those spaces, right? We should call these things out. The Great White Hope, you know, trope excels in every sport, you know, like every sport category. I've heard about it. I don't follow, you know, this, right? But, you know, I follow combat sports, right? And I remember in the UFC when the white supremacist fascist Dana White said that, you know, we would never have a woman's category. And then he got his little white hope, God, what's her name?
Ronda Rousey,
Yeah.
Who was a one-trick pony and was always going to be exposed, and then was finally exposed. On the male side, you had Conor McGregor, the I believe rapist, right? You know, like, or rapist. I don't know. I'm saying on YouTube, but you know, same thing, right? You know, these people cannot wait. These institutions cannot wait to lift these people up, right? Regardless of, as Chuck is pointing out, regardless of the stats, regardless of the actual material reality, they serve a political purpose, right? And that is what they're being used for, and we should not disregard it, right, as simple entertainment, because, as Chuck said, again, the impacts come out, right, into our experiences, into our daily lives, right? And yeah, so like we should be aware of these things. I appreciate you giving me this lesson. I appreciate it.
Renee and I were talking for a long time about this, and she was like, "Oh, you got to come on the show and talk about it," because I, you know, I feel strongly, because I'm scared. I'm honestly scared, and I don't think I've seen a mob like this.
Yo, yeah. Chuck, I mean, really, when you talk about even going to the games now, if you don't stand up while they doing the Pledge of Allegiance,
yeah,
in certain places, I seen this dude get mobbed. I was like, damn. I was like, listen, you in the wrong place to not be standing up, but I wouldn't stand up neither, so I guess I would be getting mobbed. It is being taken to that point in these games, in these spaces. So,
yeah. And one last thought on the boycott thing. I think there's a double standard for sports than arts. Like, nobody says boycott. Take your favorite music, right? Take your favorite music, whatever your favorite genre of music is, hip hop, R&B, rock, country, whatever it might be, and say, you can't listen to that anymore. If I asked you to do that, you'd want to know you're getting something back in return, to cut off your love for that. I'm a guy, Knicks won a championship. That's my team. When I see Jalen Brunson doing his footwork, I see art. I see art. I see Baryshnikov, except someone's trying to tackle him and stop him from getting to the hoop. That's what I see. And sports fans are like that. So if you're going to ask me to give that up, which I would in a second if it would end poverty and genocide and police brutality, I would give it all up. But I gotta be sure it's gonna get something back for it, because sports is people's identity. It's who they are. It's not a product. And if you have an understanding of that, then it changes the equation. And people don't look at sports as art the way they do as music or they do as film, and they should.
It's gang. Straight up, it's a gang. You with the Knicks gang, like, yo, y'all are some crazy motherfuckers, yo.
It's true.
Renee, what you got going on over there?
Man, I'm really glad Chuck came on. I think this you know, what you said, Chuck, about not seeding these spaces is the thing that I think is really important, that I want people to consider, right? Like, it's very easy to be dismissive of professional sports, because why y'all doing it? Why are you watching? It's this, it's that. Like I feel all of that, but it is another dialectic situation, right? Like this is another space where we have to understand that no matter how a lot of people feel about professional sports and what is happening in those spaces, they are going to exist because we live in a capitalist system that does not give a fuck about regular working people. They care about how they can maintain their profit. That's it, right? And so when you start going into just trying to act like just don't go, that is not going to happen. With the amount of stuff that is happening in the world, I want y'all to understand, with the amount of stuff that's happening in the World Cup went and hundreds of thousands of people watched, went, participated, like all of that, right? Like this is it. This is where we live, right? And so I think it's important for people to just consider, you don't have to be in the space, right? But that doesn't mean everybody has to see the space. This is why BAP was out there during the World Cup talking to people, handing things out, having conversations, right? Like this is what happens. So I think it's important, like what you said about not seating the space, I think is really important. It's the same conversation that I have about electoral politics. Like you don't have to like it, you don't have to participate. I'm not going to give you a hard time. But when you don't participate, you are ceding the space to the people that you least want to make the decision. Right? And so I still haven't read Dave's book on the military and NFL. Like it's on my list. And I got beef because somebody was supposed to get me a copy of the book and they haven't gotten it yet. And so now I'm just going to buy my own copy, but we're going to leave that alone. But when you do Thursday, we could let you know that we got beef because he was supposed to ask for a copy of the book for me. He didn't do it. But anyway, so I know. See, Evan, it's not just you. It's not just you, Ed Doctor. I beef for everybody. It's important that people understand like how these things work, and that if we have an opportunity, exactly, Broham, if we have the opportunity to connect the dots, we have to do that. We have to connect the dots. We have to take every opportunity possible to let people understand that all of these things are connected. It is all because of capitalism. It is always capitalism, right? Like it is always capitalism. And I really appreciate you, Chuck. I always appreciate chatting with you.
Yeah.
We'll have to bring you back. Maybe you can tell folks about your experience and when you just took a trip.
Cuba.
Before you go there,
you went to Cuba. You also went to Ireland and had an experience there.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot. We'll have to figure out bringing Chuck back another time so we can talk some more about stuff.
I must say, this weekend we had a whole nother Great White Hope possibly coming up with if she would have beat Carissa, that would have been something right there, boy. We would be talking about that right now. We like, oh shit, they done got them one. So
that's right.
It's happening in all these sports. That's why
they love it.
Yeah. So sports is not just a sport, y'all. It's a political thing, as they say. Politics is in everything. Definitely. All right, where we at now?
Well, we got a little time. We got one more story in.
Right, let me get out of here so y'all can do it.
We got more than a couple.
Do you want to talk about the latest young woman that they found?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Do that. And before we do this story, can I just say, y'all, Black people don't climb trees to hang themselves. Like this just does not happen. It's not a thing. And I just want to make it very, very clear that if ever y'all find me, they tell you I was in a tree, it was not me. Because Black people don't do that. Black people don't climb trees and hang themselves. So just,
Yeah. It's crazy that we even have to, with this country's history, it's crazy that we even have to entertain that. You know what I'm saying, Renee? But here we are again. She did not do this to herself. Mother says family devastated after woman found hanging in Mississippi. This is a picture of the young woman and her mom. The mother of Tasia Fortune, a 29-year-old woman whose body was found hanging from a tree on August 3rd in Jackson, Mississippi, told ABC News on Sunday afternoon that her daughter's death has just devastated her family. This has just devastated us, Fortune's mother, Christy Spivey, said. Tasia was strong-minded. She was full of laughs and love. She had faith in God. She had so little and gave so much. Spivey said that she last saw her daughter, who is a mother of 4, on July 26th after she traveled from Mississippi, where she has lived for over a decade, to Kentucky for a family reunion. When asked about Fortune's state of mind the last time she saw her, Spivey said, she was better than I had seen her in a long time. She was at peace. Asked if her daughter could have died by suicide, Spivey said, she did not do this to herself. I know my daughter, and she did not do this to herself. A spokesperson from the Jackson Police Department confirmed to ABC News on Saturday night that police are investigating Fortune's death and confirmed that the Hinds County Coroner's Office identified Fortune. This is her. Asked about the status of the investigation, if any persons of interest have been interviewed, the spokesperson did not provide further comment. I'm trying to see, and then they've made an ask for assistance from the U.S. Attorney's Office. She was found behind hanging in the backyard of an abandoned house on the road to Remembrance in Jackson, Mississippi. Devastating. Sending love and peace to her family. Rest in power to this woman. Black people don't hang themselves, man. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know. Honestly, what this made me think about was I reflected on that the way in which Blackness podcasted that series on the Ku Klux Klan and their history and the different iterations they've gone through over time. I also thought about Carlos from Deculturation covering this recent story around white supremacist groups being on the rise in New York and I think Queens in particular. And I cannot help but think, right, that and again, don't want to be irresponsible, don't want to speculate, right? But we are clearly seeing a rise in white supremacist violence in this country. As we've said before, right, on this platform and even today, right, this is a white supremacist, capitalist, imperialist state, right? So this kind of violence is embedded in this country anyway, right? But we're in a particular historical moment where that is being elevated at the highest levels, right? And people are finding cover for this type of stuff, right? And I don't have to tell anybody in this chat, right, that this type of violence there's a history of this violence being covered by the same people who are supposed to be investigating it, right? So I just, I don't know how, I don't even know how many this year we've had of people being.
I was going to try and look, but it occurred to me that I'm not going to be able to find a real number this quickly. And part of the issue, and Chuck, I want you to weigh in when I'm done. Part of the issue here is the immediacy with which whoever does the findings says that it was suicide, and then it just gets brushed off, right? And so part of the problem is within 24 hours, someone immediately announces, oh, it was suicide. There's no true investigation. There's no actual attempt to determine what happened. And so this is all part of the same media, law enforcement, propaganda sphere that I'm always talking about, where you can't just, the media is going to report what the police department sends them in the fax, and then the fax is going to say what the coroner said, and the coroner is going to say what the police department told them to say. It's not, I don't mean, I'm not laughing, I'm laughing because it's so absurd. But right. I was like, let me see if I can find a number, because I feel like the number is really high. And somebody just got found in Raleigh, North Carolina over the weekend. So this is not, it feels more frequent. And I just wonder, I got to think on how this information is being presented, because I also don't want us to get sidetracked in the sense of misunderstanding how we are killed in this country, right? This is just another pathway to be rid of Black bodies, right? It's not it's more gruesome when you consider the history of lynchings and the history of how things were done. But Black people are being shot. They're being like this. This is another pathway, and I want people to remember that we are in danger because we live in a place where this is what is done to Black people. We are removed, right? The young man who was left in the water was not hung, but he was still killed. And it was still at the hands of a bunch of white people who decided he wasn't important enough to take care of, right? So I don't know. What do you think, Chuck?
I think we should be incredibly, incredibly concerned. There is a rise. And, for what you said, the coroners work for the police. We know this. So anytime someone rules something as suicide right away, that happened in DC a few months back, 2 days later, suicide, something is not right. You know that. You would never rule something as suicide that quickly. And that's always the case. Anytime someone Black is found hanging from a tree, I'm in agreement that you're not just Black people don't hang themselves from trees. It just doesn't happen. So we're seeing more of these. But to me, it's actually worse than police violence because it's the transfer of police power to vigilantism. It's like to go back to the Trayvon story. The story wasn't about George Zimmerman. The story was about George Zimmerman going into the police department, saying what he did, and then patting him on the back and giving him his gun back. They literally gave him his gun back, and he left. Good boy, good job, Zim. This was unthinkable that would happen if it was a young Black man who came in and killed a white Trayvon with going for Skittles and an iced tea. So when we see this vigilantism, what we're actually seeing is the transfer of police immunity onto just regular white civilians. And that is something we should all be very concerned about and be very involved in, because that is actually worse. You're giving qualified immunity just to people being white. And that harkens back to the 60s, and we know how that went. So I think this attention is well-centered.
Yeah.
Thank you. Doctor, we ready?
I believe we are. We are wrapping up another Remix Morning Show. Chuck, thanks for coming through, man. You came through, and I was able to talk sports with somebody on here. It's a beautiful thing.
Sorry for ending on a little more sour note, but here we are. The world is sour.
No, forget about it.
Listen, Chuck regularly tells me that I can ruin a rainbow. So it's
definitely.
All right, I know we're going, but I just got to tell you this about Renee. I tell her all the time. Like, I'm done talking to Renee, who's full slides a little more on the pessimistic side. And by the time I'm done with that conversation, I'm like, so basically you're saying I've wasted the last 10 years of my life doing nothing, right? That's what all right. It's a hit to the ego. Like, you invested your life into trying to do something, and Renee's like, yeah, that ain't working.
Yeah.
But that's why I love her. She brings the truth no matter how it hits.
Yeah, you'd be like, Renee, it's sunny outside. Yeah, this atmosphere, though. Like, God damn.
Yeah. You think you got to win. And Renee's like, I don't know if that's a win. I'm like, work with me.
Speaking of win, big up to ZZ Lion Dash sending in $20. Nash won MVP over Kobe Bryant, who averaged 35 points. Advertisements bring dollars. Cooper at this moment is the best Kristen Leitner. Clark is a TO machine. Volume and ball domination makes her good. Miles is better. ZZ, got yours off. All right, let's real quick run through it. So, Chuck, how can we find you and what's coming up in your world?
I'm often posting at Chuck Mo D1 at Twitter and at Chuck Mo D1 on Instagram. I cover protests and interview people and ask them why they came out. But I'm probably having an article coming next few days on Caitlyn. So look out for that. It'll be either at The Nation or some other place. So take a look out for that, because we just want to spread that word.
All right. Evan, what you got coming up?
Lots of stuff over here. Got our next Assad Shakur Popular Education, specifically for Black August. Comrades from MXGM, Malcolm X Grassroots, will be leading this one. This one's Long Live the Man-Child, Jonathan Jackson and the Revolutionary Potential of Black Youth. So Jonathan Jackson's well-known revolutionary younger brother of George Jackson. That's going to be this Wednesday. On Saturday, August 22nd, there's an International Struggle to Liberate Political Prisoners event. in DC at Dar Huria, Palestine House of Freedom, from 4 to 7 p.m. Please come to that. We also have our next People's Pan-African Wellness Front this Sunday from 12 to 3, where we'll be offering fresh produce, chair yoga, blood pressure screenings, etc. There will also be a health walk right before that that people can also attend, where we'll be walking through the community trying to engage people around health in the community and building community control.
All right,
Evan, the Jonathan Jackson on Wednesday, where is that?
That's going to be at the Black Workers and Wellness Center.
Okay, Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Okay.
From 7 to 9 p.m. in person and virtual online as well.
Okay, great.
A little downward dog going on over there. Renee, what you got coming up?
We are going to be hosting Andres Jinete, who is running for a congressional seat in New Jersey, but who has been highly, highly involved in rent control, force and ICE out of central New Jersey. He's been absolutely fantastic to talk to. He's got a lot going on. So he is going to join us on Saturday to talk about all of his organizing stuff and his campaign.
All right. And for me, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 11 Classical Breakdown. Me and DJ Rasorius are breaking down 2 dope classical albums, Bilal and Anderson .Paak. And listen, it's Black August. Go pick up a book. This is for all the people with withdrawal. That's, from the American dream. It ain't all the same. The Miseducation of the Negro. Good book. You can go check it out. Pick up some book and get to reading. All right, this is a Remix Morning Show. I'm the Ear Doctor. That's Evan. That's Renee. That's Chuck. Y'all have a great one. Organize so we can rise. Peace out. Y'all have a good day.
Peace, y'all.
Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.